Imagine this. You're walking alone through a forest when, about 30 feet ahead, you notice a wolf. It isn't charging. It isn't running away. It's simply standing there, staring at you. 1 minute passes, then another. Finally, without warning, it takes a single slow step forward. Now your mind immediately jumps to the obvious questions. How big is it? How fast can it run? Is it hungry? Could I fight it? Could I climb something? Every human brain starts doing those calculations almost automatically. But here's the strange part. The wolf isn't solving the same problem. It isn't just wondering whether you're strong enough to be dangerous. It's trying to answer a much more important question, a question that completely changes the way wild animals see us. Because what it's measuring isn't your muscles, your speed, or even your size. It's measuring whether it understands you. And once you realize what that actually means, something unsettling becomes obvious about humans that most of us never notice. So let's break down what's really happening. Every predator on Earth spends its life constantly evaluating risk. Every second it's awake, its brain is collecting information. How is something moving? Which direction is it looking? Does it smell familiar? Does its shape match something I've seen before? Is this prey? A rival? A threat? Those answers come from an enormous library of patterns built over millions of years of evolution. A wolf instantly recognizes the movement of a deer. A lion recognizes the silhouette of a zebra. A bear recognizes the behavior of a salmon swimming upstream. When those patterns line up, the animal already knows what usually happens next. It knows how that prey runs, when it hesitates, where it turns, and the best moment to attack. Then you appear. You don't move like a deer. You don't smell like anything it normally hunts. You're standing upright, while almost every other large animal in the forest walks on 4 legs. Your eyes face forward like another predator, yet your body doesn't resemble any predator it regularly encounters. Whatever you're about to do next isn't part of the script the animal has practiced for thousands of generations. That's where things become interesting. The wolf isn't simply asking whether it could beat you in a fight. It's trying to figure out whether you fit any pattern its brain already understands. Can it predict what you'll do? Has evolution prepared it for this exact situation? Very often, the answer is no. And when that answer is no, many predators don't become more aggressive. They become more cautious. In nature, something that can't be confidently understood can feel more dangerous than something that's simply powerful. This isn't just an interesting idea. Several studies point in that direction. In 2016, researchers from Oxford studied wild European badgers. They placed speakers around their feeding sites and played different sounds: wolves howling, bears growling, dogs barking, and ordinary human conversations. At first glance, the prediction seemed obvious. Badgers have shared landscapes with wolves and bears for thousands of years, so those predators should have triggered the strongest response. Instead, the human voices produced the most dramatic reaction. The badgers spent far less time feeding, became significantly more cautious, and avoided the area much more than they did after hearing the natural predators. The researchers described humans as a kind of super predator, not simply because we kill more animals than any other species, but because our presence creates an unusually strong perception of danger throughout entire ecosystems. And the same pattern appears elsewhere. In 2019, scientists from UC Santa Cruz installed speakers across California mountain habitat and played recordings of ordinary people talking. There were no humans physically present, only voices. Yet the effect spread across the entire food web. Mountain lions abandoned kills they had already made. Bobcats avoided the areas. Skunks changed their activity. Opossums shifted their movements. Even small rodents altered the way they searched for food. Just the sound of nearby humans was enough to reshape the behavior of multiple species. What's remarkable is that a mountain lion is fully capable of killing a human. This isn't an animal that's physically intimidated by us, Yet instead of treating the voices as an opportunity or simply ignoring them, it behaved as though entering that area carried an unusually high level of risk. But the story gets even stranger. Animals don't simply react to humans as one category. Many of them appear to distinguish between different kinds of human behavior. Researchers studying wild woolly monkeys in Ecuador observed that the monkeys responded very differently depending on how people moved through the forest. Someone behaving like a hunter triggered immediate escape. Someone calmly gathering plants produced a much weaker reaction. A researcher quietly observing wildlife often received surprisingly little attention. The monkeys weren't responding only to the fact that a human existed. They were constantly evaluating posture, movement, direction, speed, attention, and behavior to estimate what kind of situation they were facing. That's what the calculation really looks like. It isn't simply, is this animal stronger than me? It's, does this behavior match something I already know how to deal with? The more predictable the situation becomes, the easier it is for an animal to decide what to do. The less predictable it feels, the more carefully it tends to behave. And that leads to an even bigger question. Why are humans so difficult to interpret in the first place? For most of our evolutionary history, our ancestors weren't especially impressive physically. We weren't the fastest runners. We didn't have claws, massive teeth, thick armor, or incredible strength. On paper, we don't look like the kind of species that should dominate an ecosystem. Yet somewhere along the way, we became something very unusual. We began walking permanently on two legs, creating a silhouette, unlike almost every other large mammal around us. Some researchers have suggested that this distinctive upright posture may have done more than free our hands or make long-distance travel more efficient. It may also have made us appear unfamiliar to other animals, creating a shape that didn't neatly fit into the categories predators had evolved to recognize. Whether or not that explanation tells the whole story, there's little doubt that humans occupy a remarkably unusual place in nature. We're neither typical prey nor typical predators. We're something different. So let's go back to that wolf standing 30 feet away. It may not be deciding whether you're weak. It may not even be deciding whether you're strong. Instead, it's trying to answer a simpler question. What exactly am I looking at? Every second that passes without a clear answer adds uncertainty to the calculation. And in the wild, uncertainty often encourages caution. You're the upright figure in a world built for four-legged animals. You're the unfamiliar voice echoing through the trees. You're the movement that doesn't quite resemble anything else. The wolf isn't just judging whether it can defeat you. It's deciding whether you're something it truly understands. And sometimes, the hardest thing for nature to deal with isn't the strongest animal. It's the one that doesn't fit the pattern.